Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah and I'm super excited to announce that I'm going to be uploading a video every day the week of Halloween. So I am going to be pre-filming these just because it'll be too hard to try to film, edit, upload every single day the week of Halloween. So these are going to be pre-filmed before that week gets here, but I'm super excited to create lots of different looks. Obviously Halloween's going to be different this year, but I really like to play with makeup, so I thought it'd be really fun to go ahead and just make these videos anyways. So if you are interested in that, make sure you are subscribed and you hit the little bell notification so that you are notified of every one of my uploads that week. So I'm really excited to do this, and I'm really pushing myself with all of the work that's going to go into this. But today's look is going to be a clown look, but it's going to kind of have a twist to it. So instead of it being like a scary clown, it's going to be more of like a glam clown. So all of these looks I have gotten inspiration from, I believe all of these ones are from Pinterest. So I will be putting like the picture over like in this corner somewhere of where I got my inspiration from, but I'm just gonna add my own twist to it. So if you are interested in seeing how I get my clown look, then we will jump right into the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert the picture here of the inspiration that I got from Pinterest, and I'm gonna change mine up and use pinks instead of the blue that she used, just because I've really been into the color pink lately and I think it'll look really pretty for this look. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my base first, just because I'm gonna want to lay all of that other, like the eyeliner and stuff, on top of it. So I'm going to start with priming my face, and I'm gonna use the Watermelon Face Milk from Fourth Ray. Let's see if it'll focus. And then I'm also going to be using the Watermelon Seed Oil from Fourth Ray as well. And I've used these in videos before, and I really like to use these as primers because it leaves your skin kind of tacky feeling, and so it really helps the makeup to sit really nicely on your skin, and it helps it last throughout the day too. So I really like using this as a primer, and I kind of like to rub it against my face but then also press it into my skin as well. And I just use 3 drops of the face milk, and I usually use 2 of the oil. And obviously you can use any primer that you want. I just find that these work best for me. So I'm definitely going to be using these a lot this week. While I let that sink into my skin, I'm going to go ahead and do my brows. So for my brows for this look, I'm going to use my Ultra Precise brow pencil from e.l.f. and it comes with a spoolie on this end, and then the other end is just a small little tip. So I'm going to use that today for this look, and I just brush my brows upward. And my brows are pretty thick, so I usually don't have to do a lot to them anyways, but I just like to fill them in a little bit. And especially for this look, I really want them to be defined a little better. And I don't want them too dark. Sometimes when I use this specific pencil, sometimes they come out a little dark. So hopefully I can keep them a little lighter today. Now that I have my brows filled in, I'm going to like carve them out with my concealer. So this is the e.l.f., if I can get it to focus, there it is, the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This is the matte finish, and this is in the shade Light Sand. And I'm just going to take that on this flat little brush, and I'm going to carve it out just so it's really defined. I may have gotten too much concealer, but it'll be okay. So I always like to do this just because I think it makes the brows look more defined. And I'm just going to take my sponge and just kind of blend that out. I also will use my finger. Sometimes it's a little easier to get in there with my finger than the sponge. And it'll be okay if this looks kind of weird because I'm going to use concealer on my eyelid anyways, so it won't look like that the whole time. So there's what the bottom part looks like, and I'm just going to take whatever's left on this and just fix this tail end and just make sure it looks really defined. Now that both of my brows are carved out, I'm going to go ahead and put my concealer to prime my lids. So you can use whatever primer you want. There are specific eyeshadow primers out there, or I just really like to use concealer. I find that works really well for me. And some people can just directly go in and not use a primer. But I have oily eyelids, so I have got to prime them with something. So I use quite a bit for my eyelids just because I really want to make sure that everything's covered. And I really like this shade too because it cancels out all of the veins that show on my eyelids. So I really like to use this to prime my eyelids. Now that I look crazy, I'm gonna set that concealer with the Cody Airspun translucent powder just to make sure that that doesn't move or anything. And I want it to be set down before I apply eyeshadows on top. You can also just use an eyeshadow to set it, but I find it works better for me if I go ahead and just use this powder instead. So this is just giving a really good base for that eyeshadow. So now that all of that is set, I'm going to be using the Wild Nothing palette from ColourPop to do the top eye part of this look. I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take this top down shade right here and just place that all in my crease area, and I'm going to be using this fluffy brush to do that. I have that set down. I'm going to take this Morningside shade right here, and I'm just gonna tap really lightly because I don't want this shade to be too dark. I just want it to lightly add some color without, because I don't want it to overpower this look. I want it to be kind of subtle. Now I'm gonna take, I think I'm gonna take this Come Together shade right here, and I'm going to deepen this outer corner and the inner part. I'm gonna do like a halo eye. And like I said, I don't want to use too much product because I don't want this to be too much on my eyelid. I want the focus to be on the other parts rather than this part of the look. To tie in the pink that's going to be like under here, I'm going to use a pink shimmer shade in the center. So this is the Halo Top and ColourPop collab. This is the shade Sherbet Day. This is really pretty pink color. So I'm just going to take this on my finger, and that's what it looks like. And I'm going to use this on the center. I just want this to tie in with the pink that's gonna go underneath. That I have that pink laid down, I'm gonna go back in with some brown just to kind of fade it into the pink. And I actually think I'm gonna take this No Bounds shade. I think I want it to be just a little darker. I think maybe that brown is just a little too light, so I'm just gonna flick it into the pink just to make sure that it fades in really well and it's not a harsh line between the glitter and the pink. And I think this darker brown actually looks a little better. I think that other brown is just a little too light. So it just needed to be a little darker. Not too much, but just a little bit darker. So this is what it looks like. And I'm actually gonna take that fluffy brush again and go into Morningside and just barely run it up on the top, just to add some of that shade back. It kind of got lost with all of the brown being added, so I'm just going to quickly run it through my crease just to add some of that pigment back. Now that I have all of that completed, I'm going to take this e.l.f. eyeliner pen. It's an eyeliner pen and it looks like this, and I'm going to make just a small line on the top. I'm not even going to do a wing or anything. Like, I just want a little bit of something here on this lash line. And I'm not even going to go all the way to the center. I'm just going to go that far. Now that I have a line created with this eyeliner pen, I actually think I'm going to go in with my other palette that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to smudge it a little bit just to add just a little more. So the other palette I'm going to be using is this fruit pie filling from You Can Be, and I'm going to take this blackberry shade down at the bottom, and I'm going to just take this little angled brush, and I'm just gonna put just a little bit and just kind of smudge that black just a little bit, not too much, but I just want to add just a little something to that black line, just so it's not so harsh. I'm just gonna smudge it out a little bit. Now that I have my mascara done, I'm going to go ahead and put my foundation on. So I'm going to be using the Born This Way foundation from Too Faced. This is undetectable medium to full coverage. I have the shade Almond, so I'm just going to take this on my sponge and apply this to my face. Also, I want to put in a disclaimer. My mom's vacuuming in the living room and my dad is outside blowing leaves, so if you hear a very loud noise in the background, that's what it is, but you'll just have to bear with me. So I'm just gonna take this foundation and go ahead and apply it to my face. Now I'm going to go ahead and set all of that. So I'm going to just use my translucent powder again to set all of that. And I just grab it on my sponge and I just go around and just set it all. I find it sets better with the sponge than a brush. And I have used a brush before, but I just feel like it does better with a sponge. So I'm just gonna set it with a sponge. So for the next couple parts of this video, I'm just gonna do a voiceover and show you what I'm gonna use, just because that noise is really loud and I don't want it to like affect the video. So I'll just do a voiceover for this part, and I will continue the look that way. I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Christmas Cookie House Party, the top of the palette, and I'm going to be taking the bronzer shade and applying it to my face on this slanted fluffy brush. Now I'm taking this fluffy brush, and again I'm using that same palette, and I'm taking the blush shade and I'm going to apply that on my cheeks. I'm now going to take the last shade in the same palette that I've already been using, and I'm going to use that for my highlight. I'm now taking this tiny brush to highlight under my eyebrow. taking a pink eyeshadow and applying it underneath my eyes. I'm going to take the Fruit Pie Filling palette from You Can Be, and I'm going to take this flat kabuki brush, and I'm taking this hot pink shade, and I'm just going to apply a generous amount of that on my face. I'm now taking this smaller slanted fluffy brush and applying some more of that pink in the same area that I was applying before. For this next part, I'm taking the e.l.f. black eyeliner pen, and I'm going to be making 3 triangles underneath my eye. To fill in the black triangles, I'm going to use this black grease makeup that I got from Walmart in the Halloween section, and I'm going to take this really small slanted brush, and I'm just going to apply that to fill in the triangles. I'm going to take that black eyeliner pen again, and I'm going to just define these triangles more with the pen, just so that the edges of the triangles look more defined and neater. I'm going to use the black shade in the Fruit Pie Filling palette on this tiny little brush to set that black grease makeup in place so it doesn't move anywhere. I went ahead and off camera did the other side, and now I'm going to take that black eyeliner pen again, and I'm going to make triangles for the top part of my face, and I'm just going to create those lines using this pen. I also forgot to mention that I put black dots on the top. The triangles ended up being bigger than I wanted them to be, but they still turned out fine, and I'm now going to just take that slanted brush again and take the grease makeup to fill the whole area in. I'm going to take that black eyeshadow again to set all of that grease makeup in place. Now I'm going to take this black eyeliner pencil from Wet n Wild, and I'm going to make this almost teardrop shape on my nose. I'm taking the pink shimmer shade that I used earlier on my eyelids to fill in and highlight that black teardrop on my nose. For my lips, I don't have any black lipstick, so I'm just going to use this black grease makeup, and I'm going to line my lips with it, and then I'm going to just fill them all the way in. I'm going to use the black eyeshadow to not only set that in place, but also to make the black a little darker on my lips. Now I'm going to grab that black eyeliner pencil again, and I'm going to draw a line on either side of my mouth just to make the mouth look wider for the clown part. Here I'm using the black eyeliner pen just to make that line darker. Highlight my inner corner, I'm going to take this shimmery shade on this small brush, and I'm just going to apply that. Last step that I'm going to do is take that eyeliner pen again, and I'm going to just make a little dot under the first two triangles that are under my eyes. So this is the completed look. I really like how it turned out. I would say that these could have been a little thinner. They got a little thick, but I still really like the way that it looks. And I think it's really cute, and it's a different twist on a clown than it being scary. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. Do you like clowns? Do you not like clowns? Anything like that. And I will see you tomorrow for the next Halloween look.